G'day everyone, Buck up in North Queensland for a review this afternoon on the new thing Bluetti's just sent me. It's their new power station, guys, mid-range or mid-size power station. It's the Bluetti Elite 100 V2, which I think stands for version 2, and I'll explain why in a minute. You're probably out there thinking, another YouTuber out there promoting another power station. I know there's a lot out there, everyone, but if you don't know me, this YouTuber will actually be getting out camping, and I will be using this thing out in the real world. I'll be putting it through its paces, everyone. I'm just going to sit in my backyard and talk about it. Mates, you're going to get it out and use it. That's why Bluetti gave it to me. When people give me things to review, I want to go out and test them and make sure that they do what they say they're going to do. First impressions, I'm pretty impressed with this little thing. As you know, if you follow my channel, I have got another power station. It's a lot larger than this, and it was given to me as backup power for my shed and my house after a cyclone, okay? This one is totally down the camping alley. And when Bluetti contacted me, Aria at Bluetti, she said, we've got a new product hitting the market in Australia. It's the little Elite 100. It's perfect for camping. And I thought, you know what? I've tried to camp with my other power station. It's too big, it's too heavy, it's just too bulky to take out camping. This thing here is going to be the perfect size for going out camping, and I'm about to go out camping in a couple of weeks up in Cape York, guys, up remote with some mates, and I'm going to be taking this with me and putting it through the test. So I just want to run you through a few of the specifications and that of it before I get in and actually do some testing. I'm going to do a few shed clips with it, and I'm going to run some induction cookers off it. I'm going to run an air fryer off it. That'll be in follow-up clips so we can see exactly what it can do. This one's just basically about what it comes with. When you get it out of the box, what does it have on it? And that's what I'm going to run you through now. The first thing is, you see there, the size of it, everyone. Look at it. Beautiful, compact little size, perfect for camping. This here, the Elite 100 version 2, I think they call it version 2 because this is the replacement for another Bluetti item, and it's called the AC 180. The AC 180, very, very similar to this, few little differences, but it was a lot bigger, okay? This little thing is a lot more compact, it's lighter, it's about 30% smaller than the AC 180, and basically this is the replacement for the AC 180. I think that's why they call it the V2 or version 2, okay? So this is the Elite 100. It's the new model, just out in Australia. And as I said yes to Bluetti because I really could do with a power station that was smaller than the one I have. It's too bulky, it's for home power. This thing is going to be perfect for when I go out camping. As you know, I love going out camping. I've got some solo camps coming up, guys, in the swag and that, and this thing will be out there powering Starlink and all that type of stuff. So here it is here, the Elite 100. Nice compact little size. Some of the great features about it, 5-year warranty. Bluetti offers us a 5-year warranty, which is good peace of mind, isn't it? So absolutely fantastic. This thing here, for such a small item, you can't believe how much they pack into it. That's got an 1800 watt inverter in there, everyone. So any item that runs up to 1800 watts, this thing will power it. It can surge up to 3700. So, and I'm going to put it to the test. I'm going to start up my induction cooker, and when they first start off, if you have them on the high setting, they'll start off at 2000 watts. So that thing should surge, and then it goes down to 1800 watts. So you can run a lot of stuff off 1800 watts, you really can. So every item that runs off 240 volts, as we use here in Australia, on the back should have a little plate, and it will tell you how many watts it draws. Okay, if it draws 600 watts, you can safely run it on this little Elite 100 because it's got an 1800 watt inverter in there. It provides pure sine wave power coming out of the 240 volt sockets there like you have at home. So it's safe to run your computers and all that type of stuff on there, okay, because pure sine wave, it's clean energy that's coming out of there. The storage in this, we've got to get away here in Australia. We always talk about amps, how many amps we've got. Stuka Dive Bomber right on cue as I'm recording. Over he flies. I don't know if you hear him or not, but he's buzzing around. We always talk about how many amps is it? How many amps is it? With these power stations, I think we've got to get out of that here in Australia and start talking in watt hours. This has got 1,024 watt hours of storage, of battery capacity, okay? And the good thing is, if you've got an item that pulls or draws 100 watts, and this has got a 1,024 watt hours, then you know that thing will run roughly 10 hours, okay, on this item. So it's got an inbuilt lithium ion phosphate battery, the LiFePO4, which is the stable chemistry. We always hear these stories of things bursting into flames, lithium batteries. This has got the LiFePO4 battery in there, guys, which is the stable chemistry in that, okay? So 1,024 watt hours. So it's got if you convert that, divide that by 12 for 12 volts, if you're just running off 12 volts, it's about the 85 amp hour. As I said, we've got to get away from the amp hour talk. We use amp hours here in Australia, but with these power stations, everything's going over to watt hours and watts and all that. So it's hard to get your brain around it sometime, but I worked it out the way the 1,024 divided by 12, if you're using it with 12 volts, it's roughly around the 85 amp hours. But let's stick to watt hours and watts for this clip, okay? So 240 volt, got two 240, there you can get out a maximum of 1,800. So you can run 2 items, you can't run 2 1,800 items on there, it's a total of 1,800, pure sine wave inverter. So it's got 240 in there, LiFePO4 battery inside, which is fantastic. It can also be used as a UPS, uninterrupted power supply. So if you're in an area and you're having a lot of blackouts and that, and you don't want your computer going on you at the wrong moment because of a blackout, you can have your computer plugged into this and then the 240 volts charging this up. So when the power goes out to the house, this thing will continue to run your computer so you don't lose all your work and all that type of stuff. So it's got a 10 millisecond UPS in there. If that's down your alley, that might appeal to you. I don't know if I'd use it in that configuration, but if you got some sensitive sort of equipment and you don't want being affected by a power outage, then this has got a UPS built in there. The great thing for camping is it's got the 12 volt stuff there, and that's when we get into camping, a lot of us use 12 volt appliances, don't we? This has got a really good array of 12 volt stuff on there. Really easy there. Start button in the middle, push that to turn him on he comes. Got a bright display there. If you want AC, okay, that's for your 240 volts on there. You just hit that and we'll activate your 240 volt plugs. Hit DC and it will activate all your 12 volt stuff, and we'll go through the 12 volt plugs here. Your normal cigarette adapter, okay? A lot of stuff runs off. I just bought a King's fridge, come with a cigarette adapter, okay? Plug it in there, 12 volts, and that's a 10 amp plug, which is a standard type cigarette socket adapter here in Australia. So it's got one cigarette there. These little ones down the bottom, or jack plugs or whatever you want to call them there, they're a 5521. I don't know what you would use here in Australia. They're not a popular connection, but they are a stable connection. I've heard some CPAP machines run a 5521 plug. Basically, it's a 5.5 mil hole with a 2.1 mil pin in the middle. That's what 5521 stands for. So if you've got any equipment, or if you've got 12 volt equipment and you want a more secure connection than that, it is only an 8 amp, those connectors there, so you might have some sort of equipment that runs off those. I don't, and I know a lot of Aussies out there are going, what do you run off those plugs? I think it might be big over in America, the 5521, not a big thing here. So cigarette 5521s. Over here is more down our line there, 2 USB A's. As we know now, a lot of our torches, our headlamps, our iPhones and everything, we just get a USB cable, plug it in there, and we can charge all our phones and our lights and all that type of stuff. If you've got anything out there that runs on batteries, guys, like little A-cell batteries, and they get rid of it and just get USB rechargeable stuff. So we've got 2 15 watt USB A's in the middle. Now, this is the good stuff here. We've got a USB-C connector A lot of stuff now uses USB-Cs, and it can charge your equipment up a lot faster. The good thing here, this is 100 watt. The one on the right is 100 watt. What needs 100 watt to start up? Starlink Mini, which I have. So I ran Starlink Mini up the other day, and I'll give you another demo in upcoming clips. Starlink Mini will run off that. It doesn't pull 100 watts straight up, but apparently you need 100 watt USB-C if you want to run your Starlink Mini off 12 volt. So this little power supply here, the Elite 100, will run your Starlink Mini. So you've got communications when you're out remote camping and that, emergency comms and all that type of stuff, okay? This one over here is even better. That's 140 watts. Some of your big Apple, your MacBook Pros and all that type of stuff, if you want to charge them up, some of them need up to 140 watts to charge up properly. So the Bluetti's put the 140 watt USB-C in that side and 100 watts on that side. So this thing here will power your Starlink Mini, everyone. I know a lot of us are getting the Starlink Minis. What a great bit of kit they are. Run them on 12 volts, this little thing will do the job for you. So there it is there, all your 12 volt charging, your USB-Cs, your USB-As, your cigarette lighter. We still have a lot of stuff. I just bought a new fridge that runs off 12 and 24. It came with a cigarette lighter adapter, okay? Now, this one up here, we'll talk about solar. How do you charge this thing up? Yes, you can charge it up using 240, and it comes with a cable with your normal 240. So you can charge it up off your using a generator or your mains power at home and that. There's 3 different settings, guys. There's turbo, standard, and silent or something, and you can access that on your phone. There's a Bluetti app on the phone. Download the Bluetti app. It comes up, Bluetooths to your thing there, and then you can choose how you want to charge it up. If you just charge it on standard, which is what you normally do, you'll get 600 watts, okay? 600 watts going in there if you charge it up normally. So less than 2 hours on a standard charge. If you're in a hurry and you need to charge it up quicker on 240 volts, you can go into your app and you can just go to turbo mode, and that'll pump in up to 1200 watts. So you can charge it up in less than an hour, okay? On turbo mode, and then you can do it on silent mode too. Not that standard mode, you can hardly hear anything. It's only about 30 decibels or whatever. They're a silent generator basically, which is why they're fantastic. So 3 240 volt charging modes. The silent and the standard will pump in 600 watts, and the turbo you can boost it up to 1200 watts. But if you can do it on standard, do it. It's just better for the battery, okay? How else can we charge this thing up? Well, with solar, okay? Now, this connector here is not a popular connector. I think that's called an XT60 connector, okay? That goes into there. So the solar cable came with an XT60 connector on that end, and guess what I've done? I've gone and ordered a XT90 cable off eBay. Thought they were the same thing. I think I've ordered the wrong cable. And on the other end, Bluetti won't like me for this, but I have already made my first modification, and I'm going to be talking about this soon, to the solar cable. So I've got the XT60, that in there, goes into there. I've already snipped off the MC4 solar connectors, because I know house solar panels that put on the roof of your house run MC4 connectors. Most camping solar panels in this country, we run Anderson plugs. All the Aussies watching out there now, we love Anderson plugs. I've already snipped the MC4 connector off and sold it on an Anderson plug. So that's how I'm going to do it. All my solar panels are already come pre-Anderson plugged, guys. So MC4 was no good to me. I got a Anderson to MC4 connector, I think, off eBay. It was wired up wrong, it didn't work. So I've snipped the MC4, put my own Anderson plug on, into my solar panels, and I can charge up using solar. Now, this is where it gets a bit confusing. This says it'll take up to 1,000 watts of solar, which is a lot, isn't it? That's 5 200 watt solar panels. I own 2, but you can only put 20 amps in at a time. And this is where I had to start thinking about things. And when I think my brain hurts, guys, I can only put 20 amps in, maximum of 20 amps in via solar. I've got two King's 200 watt solar panels, guys. One of those solar panels, the 200 watt solar panels, on a good day, I can get 14 amps out of that. So if I wanted to put a second solar panel in, I've got a double adapter Anderson plug, and I want to put 2 solar panels in there. There's 400 watts. Great, it'll take that. It'll take up to 1,000 watts. But then I'll be putting in over 20 amps. It's only rated to, I could put up to 28 amps in on a good day with those 2 solar panels. So it's over the 20 amp limit. I thought, how am I going to, that's stupid. So I'd have a think about it. For me to run 2 solar panels, 200 watt solar panels that produce, say, 14 amps each, I'm going to have to run them in series so I don't go over the amperage, everyone. So I've ordered a cable off eBay. It's a 3-way Anderson cable, and it's so you can hook your solar panels that are Anderson plugged up, hook them up in series. So what does that mean? That means I up the voltage, and I can put up to between 12 and 60 volts into that solar there. So I can put up to 60 volts in there. So I can double my solar panels up in series, which doubles the voltage, but keeps the amps at the same, okay, and it'll still charge it up. So that's the way around it. I'm going to have to, if I want to put 2 solar panels into this, I've got to hook them up in series, not parallel, because if I do them in parallel, it's going to go over the 20 watts. I'd like to see it have a higher amperage, sorry, watts and amps. Here I am getting confused myself. I'd like to see it more than 20 amps, because 200 watt solar panels in parallel is going to pump in more than 20 amps, okay? So that's a bit of a drawback here with Australia. Our solar panels are Anderson plugged up, and if you put 2 together, they produce more than 20 amps. So I'm going to have to hook them up in series. So there's a way around it, okay? So if you do want to put in multiple solar panels to this, they're going to have to be hooked up in series, everyone, as I said, because it's only a 20 amp maximum for your solar. Rightio. So that's that out of the way. So there's a way around it. I can still use my 2 solar panels once I get this Anderson series cable off eBay, okay? Now, I love how compact it is. 11.5 kilos, 25 pounds, so about 11.5 kilos. So you can pick it up one-handed. It has got a handle here. Got a carry handle. Now, here's the other problem there. Why only one? Why didn't they put a carry handle here and here? Bluetti, if you're watching, and you'll see this, a lot of people want to put these on their draw system here. My draw system's got tie down points on there. You can't tie. A lot of these power stations that come out have got no tie down points, everyone. Bluetti, put a couple of handles there so you can use the handles as a tie down point, okay? So if I do want to put it up there and I might want to put this over near my fridge on the draw system there to power the fridge, the angle fridge there. It'll do it, fine, but I need to be able to tie it down. You can't have it going on a corrugated road and that and having it flapping around in the back of the car. You've got to have a way to have it tied down. Another handle at the front, more likely it would have been better to have a handle here and a handle there. You can put a little tie down strap there and tie them down onto your draw systems. That's how we do things here in Australia. We tie our stuff there. My fridge is tied down to the fridge slide. You've got to have a way to tie it down. So there's a con, and it's not just this one. There's a lot of power stations out there, different brands, that do not have tie down points. Now, this one goes out not only to Bluetti, but to every company that makes power stations like this. If you want to break into the Australian market, you need to include Anderson connectors. Everything we have here in Australia is Anderson plugged. Just about. Isn't it? And all the Aussies out there that go camping, we Anderson plug everything, guys. It's a stable connection. It doesn't rattle loose. We travel on a lot of dirt roads, corrugated roads and that. The Anderson plugs clip in and they do not rattle loose. Cigarette lighter adapters, those ones, they rattle loose, and I've had it happen to me. They rattle loose. So, Bluetti, if you want to, next model you bring out and you want to break into the Australian market, include a couple of Anderson inputs and outputs in the side, even if it's in the side there. So we can plug our solar panels in and charge up with our Anderson plug solar panels. If we want to run our fridge off there, a lot of our fridge cables come with Anderson plugs on there automatically. So we need Anderson plugs on there. If you really want to crack into the Australian market, throw a couple of Anderson input and outputs on there, please. I know it's probably going back to the factory and trying to get them to reset it, but yeah, Aria, if you're watching this one, and I've already told Bluetti this before I even got this item, I said there's no Anderson things on there. If you want the Australians to be really interested in this, include Anderson plugs. So that's what we use down here, okay? We love going out camping. We've got all this 12 volt stuff in our vehicles now, and most of it all runs off Anderson plugs. That's what we do. So a couple of cons: tie down points and Anderson plugs, okay? And it's not just this model, it's just about every power station on the market at the moment. I don't know of any that have got Anderson plugs in there. And tie down points, I think a lot of them don't have proper tie down points as well. But what a fantastic little unit. Small, compact, packs a punch, 1800 watt inverter. So I'm gonna try and run the air fryer off it, the induction stove, all that type of stuff. It'll run Starlink. It's got your high, I've got a battery box in the back of the BT50 there to run my fridge, guys. It's got USB-A's in there. Nowhere near 100 watts. It won't run Starlink, okay? The only way I can run Starlink off my battery box in there is to buy a special cigarette adapter with a 100 watt USB-C in there and run it off the 10 amp one there. But this one's already got your USB-Cs in there, 100 and 140 watts. I've already run Starlink Mini off this. Worked perfectly. It worked perfectly. The other great thing about these, when you are running things, it tells you what your battery's doing. It tells you what power you've got coming in from solar or whatever, and it tells you what power you also have going out, you know. So whatever you're running, whatever device you're running, it'll tell you how many watts that is pulling. And it's fantastic. They are just so good, so easy to use. The other way I can get power into this, and I'm going to go and show it to you in a minute, is using an item. Now this was provided to me, as you know, this little power station. The item I'm about to show you, the Bluetti Charger 1, I actually purchased myself for another project, everyone. I've already used the Bluetti Charger 1 to charge this up, and I'm going to show you how I do that now. What a great way to charge up. If you just want to run solar panels into this, you know, I run my 200 watt solar panels in. On a good day I might get 180 watts out of them. Never seen them go to 200. Say I'll get 180 watts out of my solar panels. That's the maximum I can get in there, okay? If you want to, and that's one thing this doesn't come with, is a normal cigarette adapter, so you can charge this up off your cigarette. I guess you can always buy a cable for it, charge it up, but all you'll do, if you try and charge up off your cigarette lighter in your vehicle, everyone, you'll only get like a maximum of 100 watts coming through. You can get more power out of your solar panels. The item I'm about to show you, the Bluetti Charger 1, you won't get 100 watts out of it. I can get up to 560 watts out of it to charge this up. I'm going to go and show you how I do that now. I'll show you how the best way to charge this up is. This is unbelievable. This bit of kit up here, guys, it's called the Bluetti Charger 1. And as you can see, Aria, if you're watching, Anderson plug. I've Anderson plugged it up. Everything we use here, we use Anderson plugs. So what I'm going to do now is, with my home battery bank here, I'm going to clip my Anderson plugs together. Green light comes on the Charger 1. As I said, I can just put my solar panels out now, guys, put the Anderson plug into my solar panels, and if my solar panels are producing 180 watts, the input there, it'll come up with 180 watts, and I can charge it up that way. When I get my Anderson in series cable, which is coming off eBay, I can hook 2 solar panels up in series, and I'll still be putting in under 20 amps, but I'll be putting in a lot more volts. As I said, I can put in up to 60 volts here. But you watch this. If If I just plug that into a normal cigarette adapter and started charging that way, I get a maximum of 100 watts, everyone. What I do now, get my solar panel cable, which is still a bit scrunched up from being in the packet, plug in the XT60. I think that's an XT60, or it could be an XT90. I think it's an XT60. And then I plug the Anderson plug into the other end of the charger one. Righto. Hopefully you can see that. Here we go. Here she goes. She's starting to wind up a bit. Remember, this battery at the moment is sitting on 86%, guys, so it may not put in the full power, because once a lithium battery gets to about 80%, it starts winding down okay. It doesn't bulk charge, it just it fills it in that way. But at the moment, 560 watts. I've got 560 watts going in through the charger one. So what I can do is just unscrew this off the wall when I go camping, plug that into the Anderson plug in the back of the BT50 while the BT50 is going, and get 560 watts in there. So I can charge using the charger one in well under 2 hours. Okay, in under 2 hours I can charge this up from empty using the charger one. So that is going to be my preferred method of charging where I can. When I'm driving along, I'll just use the Bluetti charger one, and I can pump up to 560. That's nearly as much as when I plug it into 240. Remember, if I just use the standard mode on using 240 volts on AC, I can only get 600 watts out unless I go to turbo mode. So on standard charge 240, I only get 600 watts maximum. Okay, this Bluetti using 12 volt charging off a battery or power source, 560, so almost as much as what the AC punches in. There you go, 562. I'll just leave this on now and I'll let this get back up to 100%. What a great way. While I'm out camping in a couple of weeks up at Cape York, I'll have my solar panels out all day. I'm going to have Starlink Mini running off this. I'm going to have the King's fridge running off it. The boys are going to be charging their phones and their torches and their lights and all that stuff using the 12 volt. So this little Bluetti Elite 100 is going to be up in Cape York in a couple of weeks, guys, and we're going to put it through its paces. We're really going to test it out, see if it can keep up with us with it. Make sure it can keep up with running a fridge, running Starlink 24/7. That Starlink's going to be running 24/7. Hear the fan kicking in a bit now, the Bluetti charger one, still pumping in 560 watts. It's already gone from 86 to 88 just while I've been speaking. So there you go, everyone. The Bluetti Elite 100. I've only just had it a few days. I know it powers Starlink, it powers my fridge. I've been doing little testing in behind the scenes. I'll do a couple of clips, where I run the air fryer off it, the induction cooker and all that type of stuff, see how much power, make sure it can power all that type of stuff, because I know a lot of people out there, when they go camping now, you've got a fridge. A lot of people like to cook on induction. You go down the beach and it's windy, the gas cookers are useless, a bloody too much wind around. Get your little induction cooker out, get this thing out, and you can have a little tailgate cook up with your induction cooker and that. So these are a great size, aren't they? Just compact, and they pack a punch. There's a lot of power inside these things for the size of them. They are really incredible, they really are. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, put it down. And the most important thing I almost forgot to say, like everywhere, guys, I've got a discount code for you. I don't get anything out of it. For anyone new to the channel, I do not get a commission. I don't get paid by Bluetti. They gave me this thing for free to test out, and I'm really appreciative of that, because I know this thing's going to come in handy for when I go camping. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to do the job for me, I know that. But if you want to get one, I just noticed they've gone up $100. They had when they first launched, they were $9.99. They're now up to $1,099 or whatever. Keep your eye on it, bluetti.com.au. Keep an eye on their power stations. They've got a great range of power stations out there, and no matter what you use or what you want to buy from Bluetti, even if it's this charger one, Mr. Buck 5 and get a 5% discount. I don't get anything out of it. You guys do. You get a 5% discount. So if you're thinking of pulling the trigger on a little power station, this is the newest one in Australia. This is probably, I think, the best size for camping. It's got 1,024 watt hours. It's got good battery storage in there. It's got 240. It's got 12. It's got a nice inverter in there, so you can still run your 240 volts off it. Your appliances and that, little blenders and things like that. Coffee machines, all that type of stuff, guys. I've seen the Yanks running their coffee machines off this, so yes, it will do that. 1800 watt inverter, pure sine wave, so you can run your TVs, your laptops and all that. Yeah, you can use those in your house after a blackout, but these are more designed for camping. There are bigger units designed for home power and all that type of stuff. This thing will get you out of trouble if you have a blackout for a couple of hours and you want to run the TV and your computer and all that, sure. But these things, I think, are designed mainly for the campers. That's where I come in. You want to see this thing out in the real world, up in Cape York, doing cook-ups and running Starlink and that out while I'm camping, subscribe to the channel, guys, Mr. Buckaroony, and I'll keep you updated, eh? All my reviews are honest. If there's problems with an eye, I'll let you know. I've already given you 2 where I think these things could be improved. Tie down points and Anderson plugs. There you go. I'm straight up. I just say things how they are, and hopefully Bluetti are listening in and take that on board. For maybe they'll bring a new model out down the track and for Australian market and put some Anderson plugs in there. This thing here is going like a beauty. 91. There you go. I'm up to 91%. Catch you later, eh? Any questions, throw them down in the comment section, please, and stay tuned in a couple of weeks. This thing's going to be up in Cape York with me. You beauty. See you later.